This is Teravit, not Terabit, Teravit with a V. And I don't know why nobody's talking about this game. One of my friends just randomly found this on the Nintendo Switch eShop for free, and then I was just like, okay, I want to play this. It's on mobile devices, it's on Nintendo Switch, it's on PC, it's on Steam, and is completely free to play. My job with this video is selling you on this game, at least to try it, because what I've played, I can say without a doubt, is just super addicting. I love this game. I'm having such a good time. It's going to be a mainline series that's going to come on the channel, and I wanted to have this as a definitive video letting you guys know what this game is now that I've got a couple hours into it. So first and foremost, it is an adventure game. And if you think this island is pretty big and then you look at all these other islands and stuff like that, well, let me open the map for you. So this is the first island, and whoop, massive world, right? And the essential main quest is we're gonna find these statues and towns that will tell us to help people in the city. And by helping these villagers and stuff, by defeating various monsters and whatever else, it'll ultimately end up giving us more passive stats, as well as just advancing the main quest. You can find all sorts of gear out in the world, including like this sword is what I ended up finding, which is a lot faster than the basic weapons. But it's also a voxel game, which means that we chop down trees, we gather materials and wood, we can end up gathering like plants for farming and junk like that. I don't know if you can actually plant plants like yourself for farming and stuff like that, but yeah, either way. One thing that I will say you gotta keep in mind with this game is you can soft lock yourself on your account. So what I would recommend is when you play through the tutorial and you join this world and you go over to this town right here, I'd say rush over to the statue, because that's what the main quest is going to tell you to do, is talk to the statue. Don't interact with anything else, otherwise you'll soft lock your account and you'll have to start a new account to fix that, unfortunately. The questing chains are a little bit messed up. It doesn't mean that you can't play the game, because there's a lot of other aspects of this game that you can do, which is interesting. But one of the things that I think is really cool and really smart about this game is as you go out gathering materials and stuff, you can craft stuff at the crafting table. So let me say I craft, let's craft two of these swords. Whoopsie daisy. Oops, I crafted 2 swords. So as far as the gear is concerned, if we look at it, you can see level 1 out of 3. So we can actually put 2 and 2 together, which will reinforce the sword, giving it more damage. The later end stronger gear will have a higher level cap, thus allowing you to merge more of them together and make them stronger and stronger. Now, what this means as far as gameplay, if you're not into gathering resources in order to craft and all that stuff, is it means as you're exploring, if you find duplicates of your weapons and your gear, it's suddenly not useless, right? And there's a lot of really cool aspects to the exploration. You know, you get a grappling hook like almost immediately from this guy right here. It's gonna look different than my grappling hook, which I'll explain why I got this grappling hook a little bit later. But there is also building. You can build your houses and all sorts of things. You could build a base if you really wanted to, but you can't lay down a fast travel point near as I can tell. But I just love the aesthetics of this game. I love the way that it plays as well. Like the combat is actually pretty fun. So let me hop over to another one of the areas over here so I can fight some stuff for you guys just to show you. This is only the second area in the game, and already we've got floating islands. There's all sorts of different biomes in the game, which we'll again get into within the actual playthrough. Most of all, just today, I wanted to give you guys a quick showcase of what the game is and what it does. So, die, rabbit. Obviously, he's not gonna fight back, but you know, good example. There's no dodge roll or anything like that. It's not Elden Ring, it's not Dark Souls. It seems like the way that you avoid attacks is just by dodging like the old school way, like moving out of the way and jumping in and stuff like that. Enemies will have usually pretty televised attacks, and you can usually kite them pretty easily, or if you're attacking them, in most cases you'll stun them. There's actually all sorts of different weapon types as well, so you're almost always going to end up having a shield Later on in the game, the shields will give you different passive abilities, which is actually really cool. It's essentially the armor of the game, because your player's skin, you can actually completely customize, which we'll talk about that momentarily. There are different weapon types though. Like here's a scythe weapon that I ended up finding, which the weapons will have different attack patterns to them, different attack speeds to them. There are ranged weapons as well. You know, there's bows for long range, there's bows for medium range, there's bows that have rapid fire. And a lot of the weapons have their strengths and weaknesses, but on top of that, they're also going to have different passives. So they might be like, oh, this does more damage to bugs. This does more damage to undead. So it all really promotes this idea of constantly swapping your gear up and experimenting. And there's a lot of mechanics in this game, very similar to Trove, the other big game that I play on the channel, that are really, really nice and cool. Like you got a personal chest. You can place this down anywhere, use it for storage. Pick it back up. You can put down crafting tables pretty much anywhere so that you would use them to craft various things, whether it be food items so that you could get food buffs, which I haven't really needed thus far. I haven't found anything super duper difficult or challenging just yet, but hopefully that's enough to sell you on this world alone, because there is a lot of content to dig into with this, and the exploration is just a lot of fun. There's also a glider as well, so it's like Breath of the Wild. One other big aspect I wanted to show you guys is, well, this game's free, right? So what's the deal? What's the cash shop? What's the pay to win? So there is kind of pay to win, but kind of not, because there's a gacha machine right here in the second village. This is the premium gacha machine. And if you look at the items, you get different emotes and cosmetics and stuff, but then some of them will actually have good function where there'll be like, oh, the Black Knight's sword, which is really, really good by default. You will be able to very easily get weapons better than the ones in the gacha. But the trick is that these gacha weapons can go up to level 99. So they have a higher potential if you want to pay to win your way to the top. I'm not gonna do that and I don't care, but I just wanted to show you that there's axes, there's swords, there's great swords, there's spears, which are like a throwing spear. There's even some guns with a super laser. I know that there's vehicles, but I don't know if they're in this gacha or anything. I've just seen them in other worlds. Now there's also a mini gacha, which this uses the in-game currency that you'll slowly earn from doing quests and stuff like that. But this gacha just gives you a bunch of temporary items and resources. Now, with all of that said, there's also going to end up being a player market, so you can trade and sell various items, but it's all for the premium currency. And these people are psychotic, because I don't know anyone on this earth who would spend the 300 currency to get this sword that you can otherwise just find in the overworld anyways. So let me actually hop out of this world to show you the other aspects of this game, because if you're not sold on the game yet, you will be in a moment. So I'm actually really excited to let you guys know that that Warrior of Hope world, pardon me, I had a stroke, was the map made by the developers to show you the potential of what you can build. Because this is essentially Voxel Roblox, or more accurately, as I've seen with the many, many negative Steam reviews, this is Voxel RPG Maker. Now, doesn't that get exciting? So what that means is that this world is the single player, fully fleshed out adventure where you can get all these different pieces of gear and stuff like that. But player maps, you can play online in most cases with your friends. So there will be adventure maps, there's parkour maps, there's PvP maps, all sorts of stuff. I'm actually really looking forward to learning the creative mode in this game so that I can make my own maps. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself, because I want to talk about the character skins first. So you can see already, we got someone made Kazuha, someone made Squall from Final Fantasy. So the interesting thing is that people can actually make skins in this game and then sell them for the actual like cash shop currency. And it's pretty easy to make them as well, because if you go right here, any of you Trove modders out there, you already know everything about a .vox file. And they actually, in their website manual, they already show you like the program that they recommend, which is third party. And it seems extremely intuitive and easy to basically just create it's the same as creating skins in Trove, but you get to like use it immediately. Other players get to see it, and then you can also sell it on the market, which is just insane to me, dude. Like, I'm really looking forward to making my guy like a cool samurai armor, because I haven't seen samurai armor on the player market, but there's a lot of funny stuff. Now, when you pick your character, there's a couple defaults and stuff like that. Some of these you can see you do have to spend the real life currency to get. You know, there's all the different hairstyles and junk like that. A couple different body armors, and then one that's level 12. What's that? That's kind of interesting. What is this face item that I have on my person and stuff like that? Very interesting. Well, there's all sorts of different things that you can get, but some of it is just unlocked, you know, with the cash shop. Some of it's unlocked with your total mastery. I'm calling it mastery, but that's not technically what it is. It's just the easiest way to translate it from Trove terminology to you guys. So as we are completing achievements in the game, logging in, try loading a Vox file from the character screen, change profile picture from the account screen, so on and so forth, right? There's also dailies. Once you end up getting done with all of the core achievements, you can just start doing daily quests. And all of this is going to give you account XP that slowly unlocks more and more different cosmetics. Now, on top of all of that, when we were in the world, let me hop back into the Warrior of Hope just so I can show you guys this really quick. So this doesn't just apply to this world, but you can always open the world section in any world, and you'll see specific achievements and in-game parameters that the creator of the world has set up. So by having an overall score of 10K, I can accept this reward, and this item I know is a life fruit, which will end up being something that I can consume in this world, and it'll end up increasing my life. Now, I don't think aspects like that carry over from one world to another. I haven't experimented too much with it, so I could be wrong, but I'm just gonna err on the side of caution and say nothing carries over from one world into another. However, with the gacha stuff, there is actually a gacha storage, which I would assume is how you would carry these items over into another world, right? I don't know if that's like 100% how that works, but if I'm not mistaken, that's where you would put your gacha items in here, so that you could end up bringing them over into the other world. So you can see I can't store this because it's not out of the gacha. This cannot be deposited into the gacha storage. Oh, okay, never mind then. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm sorry. I could be mistaken about the gacha storage and what that actually is then, because this I know for a fact I got out of the gacha, but for some reason I can't put it on storage. Maybe when you first unlock the item, if you don't equip it to your character, you could put it into the gacha and then you could unlock it in another world, because otherwise maybe you can't just carry it into one world to another. Anyways, let's move on to the last big aspect of the game, which is the creative mode. So I do already kind of have a pre-made colorful planet that I can show you guys, but just before I do, I wanted to show you when you're creating a world, you'll have a planet, sky planet, which is floating islands, an ocean world, and flat world. So it's kind of similar to Minecraft in that regard. But this I thought was so freaking cool, because the world itself, you can see, is going to generate with all of the different biomes and everything anyways, or at least Land of Adventure does. And if we zoom in, you can see it generates with some pre-made structures as well. But it's not limited to just that, because we can change completely not only the biome types. You can see this has, like, you know, it's got pink biome and green biome and stuff. It's slightly different, but on top of that, all of the structures are different. And there is a lot. So many, like, look at this giant church from Breath of the Wild. There's so many different biome variations that you can generate. So you kind of just pick which one you want to start building on top of. Like, there's an eastern country which has like sakura trees and all this other beautiful stuff, which obviously, you know, I'm a big fan of. But it goes even further than that, and it's not restricted to medieval theme, because if I can get this to generate, not snow country, that would just be Canada, forest ruins, that ain't it, mountain ruins, One of these, if I'm not mistaken, is actually like post-apocalyptic, where it's literally like, yeah, City of Doom, there it is. So you can see it's literally like skyscrapers and stuff. So you could potentially make like a zombie world for your adventure if you wanted to. And on top of the generation of the land, you can choose how much of the land generates, how many villages generate, which would be, you know, you could set the villages up so that they're the primary aspect of the game, same as Warrior of Hope, where you're trying to save them and stuff. There's all sorts of different switches and parameters that you can do to change up and set up your quests. It's very, very in depth. So let me launch into my world right here just so I can show you guys this really quick. And I also wanted to say that you can upload it, you can make it public, and I could also build with people. So it could go a lot faster. Now, I'm not gonna act like I know what I'm doing when it comes to the building aspect, but I just wanted to show you this is what one of the air biomes looks like, and it's completely different than the Warrior of Hope because you can see that the colors are a lot more subdued. It also has like bamboo forests and stuff like that, as well as sakura trees, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Now, the tools that you have for building are pretty cool because you can actually do not only like raising and lowering the terrain quite easily, but you can dig holes, you know, as well as I can just flatten it out. There's a drop tool, so I can end up grabbing this, and now I have the soil on my hand, on my person. You can open up your map and warp to any of the spots that you want to. I'm not super in I'm not super in the know with the creative mode aspect of this game, but I will just say that it is surprisingly impressive because you have like a selector tool. You can copy and paste stuff. You can flip stuff. You know, it essentially is world edit within the game. Like it already just kind of has it. They also obviously have like creative mode blocks and stuff, which is going to take a while to get used to all of the pictures, but it's still a really, really clean UI in that you can see the pixel like voxel icon right there, but you also see the item on the right side of the screen in game. So it's really, really handy for builders out there that are probably just going to end up having an absolute blast with it. Now, on top of that, there's also the tools. So you can do a launch ring, background music triggers, teleporting, a door with a lock that you would have a key that you have to get to unlock it, you know, because people can make escape rooms and stuff. You can have favorited assets and everything. Is really, really in depth. Not to mention, you know, there's objects. So there's like a large vessel spawner, a boat spawner, vehicles spawner. There's exterior stuff like, you know, just prop items and junk like that that you can mess with. On top of some set builds, not really anything super crazy. I think you would still have to build a building yourself first, but at least you could just copy and paste it one from another with the world edit. And then there's also all of the interior items as well as grass stuff in the environment. So it's really, really cool and really in depth. Eventually, down the line, I will learn how to build stuff and, you know, could potentially end up doing it on stream. I would love to make an adventure map myself, whether it be something small that I would work on one island and then slowly work on all the others. But I don't know, like I used to actually really be into RPG Maker back in the day and even made a couple games that only me and my brother ever ended up playing. Maybe one day I'll play those on the channel if I can ever find them, but I don't think they exist anymore. But my point being is that this is freaking crazy to me because it takes care of all of the busy work of making a map. Like say the closest example to this would be making a Minecraft adventure map where you would have to not only learn how to code things in Java, but on top of that, uploading it and getting it available to everybody would also be extremely tedious. This way, if you guys start making some crazy maps down the line, I could potentially end up playing them, you know, or even we could play them together. It's like building a Club World in Trove, but it has function as well as fashion, you know? Anyways, that's gonna do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to have this as a video to sell you on this game because I have been absolutely addicted and having a blast with this title. I don't wanna act like it's more than it is, but it most certainly deserves more than the 151 negative, all of them negative reviews that are on Steam for this game at the moment. This game is completely free to play, and the cash shop is most of all just for cosmetics anyways, and all of the stuff that you get out of the gacha, I'm pretty confident you can find for free late game. And I mean, it doesn't really matter that much anyways. The point is it's free, available on Nintendo Switch, your mobile devices, PC, as well as Steam. So get playing it. You're going to see it coming out on the channel very, very soon. The first video I'm going to be putting up of this game, aside from this video, is the first time I played it. And then we're going to start a full Let's Play series on the Warrior of Hope world. And then hopefully that'll steamroll into more of you guys being interested in the game. And then we can potentially do adventures together on other adventure maps, right? But I haven't really messed with the multiplayer too much yet. It's just that it's there, and that's really, really cool. Anyways, thanks for watching. Smash like, sub for more, buy the merch you want to support the channel. Oh, hi, Mark. And have a wonderful day, everybody. I'm really excited for this one.